Better late than never, better late than never, forever hard to measure. I might see my future fall away, but you control time, so my future do what you say. Good day, good morning. I know it's morning time for both of us here, man. Good to see you. I appreciate you joining the podcast, man. How are you been? Just to kind of get us grounded. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Developed a little bit of a sneaker addiction lately. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
I mean, depending on which way you want to go, I think it's going pretty good. Yeah, li life's good, other than the sneaker addiction, which I think is pretty good too, because I'm pretty happy.
Let's actually go there for a quick second. So I growing up, I wouldn't say I was poor per se. We were just economically frugal. There we go. How about that? So like I didn't have the brand new Jordans and Air Forces growing up. But most recently, like when I say recent, like in the last probably 4 months, actually it started on Christmas. My wife bought me some retro she brought me two. She bought me some retro five and sixes, and I was like, "Oh snap, we here now." But the last 4 months, I was like, "Let me try to get all like I want to get the all 14 of the retros. I'm not there yet, but I got about 8 pair. Where
Nice,
are you in your Jordan, or I'm not assuming Jordan, but all, your shoe collection journey? I'm curious."
man. So for me, it was a pair of Court Visions.
Okay.
And this is like also new for me. This is like in December, and I really like the Court Visions. They're like cherry red Court Visions with some white and black on them, and I'm like, oh, these are really cool. So then I bought my first pair of Jordan, and I was like you. Look, I wouldn't even call myself economically challenged. Like I was, oh, like I couldn't even afford the O and the R. Like just poor. Like that's the so growing up, it was like one set of sneakers. My mom did the best she could, right?
Yeah.
Single family, single mom. She did the best she could, but it was like one pair of sneakers every year.
Yes.
So here we are. I get these court visions. We're at Disney World. My wife takes this really cool picture. I'm like, man, these look awesome. And
Yes.
then after that, in January, I bought my first pair of Jordan 1s that I always wanted. I
Ooh,
always wanted them.
yeah.
It was the University Blue Jordan 1s.
Ooh,
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. But then I couldn't just have one, right? Because I'm like, oh, like look at all these other colorways.
yeah.
Well, let's get like the metallic rust. Let's get the aqua. Let's get the hyper royals. So I got like 7 pair of Jordan ones, and that's just
Whoa.
Jordans.
Just
Just Jordan.
7 pairs of ones of ones.
Pairs of
You in
ones.
there now, bro. You committed. You got to keep going. You gotta keep going.
Control like I don't just have 7 pairs, okay? Like
I'm with you, bro.
I've got a little buck wild with this because like I never had them as a kid. So like now I'm going crazy with the Air Maxes. So
Mhm.
that was the last thing to my so funny enough, I bought the Court Visions were my first shoe. Those are the ones that kicked me off on this obsession.
Yeah.
And I'm bookending it with Court Visions. I bought same exact shoe but in blue and gray because I
Okay.
really liked them. But I got almost everything in between. I got one of like everything. I got like Air Max 97s, Air Max 90s.
Yeah.
I got, New Balances. I got some Air Force Ones, some Dunk Highs, some Dunk Lows.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't know any of this 5 months ago. This is like all from one pair of shoe.
Yeah, I think it's going off the deep end. I didn't realize there's a nerd zone for everything, one, right? So I didn't know about this. Like I'm watching YouTube of these just the different releases, different colorways, the history. I went on the deep end of the history. So apparently nobody likes retro twos, but because now I know the story of retro twos, how Nike almost lost Jordan, I had to get me a pair of retro twos, and that's like my favorite Jordan now. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. Me and you are in the same kind of lifeboat. I love hearing it. So maybe actually here's my last question about your shoe obsession. What's like the colorways that you like the most? What's kind of what you're drawn to colorway wise?
I'm drawn to like the Hyper Royal colorway, which is a white, gray, black, and like a royal blue.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite colorway. Just in general, and what I kind of gravitates to, but I've really tried to challenge myself and get outside of that.
Yeah.
So my Air Max 97s are bright yellow. They're
Okay.
super bright yellow. My Air Max 90s are UF, so I went to UF. They're UF blue. They're orange and blue. I really try to kind of get out there,
Mhm.
but straight up, it's the Hyper Roll colorway. Any shoe that's like that. So I have like out of the Jordans, I have four shoes in that blue colorway. I have Hyper Royals. And then like I don't have it in my collection, but I want it is the Air Max 90 Hyper Royal. I really, really want that one. Because again, I like the white and the gray and the black with like a little accent of like a hyper blue, like this color right here. That's what I'm drawn to. What are you drawn to?
Yo, so my favorite shoe right now is I have these retro true twos, J Balvin edition.
Nice.
They're kind of light, they're light blue, they're faint light blue. The sole has a darker light blue. And the stitching has kind of like some green, orange undertones to it. I haven't worn them yet. Like it has to be a special occasion for me to bust them out. So I haven't worn them yet, but they're my favorite. And I think the ones that I probably wear the most, I have some retro 12 flu games. So
Nice.
red and black. Those are I wear those the most. I probably I guess I like them the most because I wear them the most, but my favorite is the retro 2 J Balvin joints. So yeah, man.
I love that. J Balvin, that's Colombia right there. Got to represent a little bit.
And you know what? You actually put me on because I remember you talking about Bad Bunny, and I listen to so much hip hop that I'm like, man, I'm tired of listening to hip hop. I need to switch it up. So I looked at Bad Bunny first, and then I stumbled on J Balvin. And even though I don't fully understand, like Bad Bunny has more cuss words in it, even though I don't know what the cuss words are, but I noticed J Balvin doesn't have a lot of profanity. I don't know what he's saying, so I listened to him more, and then I found some other folks. But anyways, I'm going on the deep end with is it like I don't know Hispanic type of music? What is it called? What's the
It's
genre?
called perreo.
Say it again.
Perreo,
Perreo.
which is like perro means dog. So
Okay.
it's like let's call perreo like dogging.
Okay. Okay.
And if you have that in mind, dogging, like then you know what the sort of like style is about and what the dancing kind of looks like.
Okay. All right. My imagination is going places. I got you. Well, I'm rocking with it. I'm loving J Balvin's music, man. I love hearing about your shoe collection. I think you're a little bit more sophisticated than me because I'm committed to this Jordan situation, and I love hearing about the Dunks, the New Balances, and things of that nature. So we'll have to keep vibing on shoes, bro. But let me get a setup for this convo. So we didn't start this convo to talk about shoes, even though I enjoy talking about it. I wanted to have a convo with you specifically for a couple things. Like you and I work together at the same org, and you're somebody that's just strike me as like a connoisseur of culture. Like you're a respecter of like the art of how to do things great. And one of those things is as a creative. One of those things is as an actual coach, like how you serve people as a serve clients. I mentioned a creative, but more specifically, you know, as an artist or as an author and a content creator. But then zooming out, man, I know enough about your story of just being resilient, kind of going from like the cruise industry, kind of a salesy background. So those are kind of the buckets that I wanted to chat with you. I'm not sure how we'll get there. And the last thing I'll say before I kind of I want you to introduce yourself is my heart's desire as a career coach is. So, what is the Job Success Accelerator? I'm glad you asked. The Job Success Accelerator is career readiness, it's professional skills for the real world, it's communication, teamwork, and conflict navigation. The Job Success Accelerator is built with two core publications, are preparing for job success and essentials for the job search curriculum. It's proven content transformed into practice. This program gives participants the tools to land jobs and the skills to keep them. It prepares youth, young adults, and professionals in transition. We partner with local, state, and federally funded programs with K-12 schools, universities, nonprofits, community-based organizations, one-stop operators, justice-involved programs, career, technical centers, and much more. The Job Success Accelerator is flexible. in person or virtual, facilitated by us or licensed for your team to implement. So, what is the Job Success Accelerator? It's the difference between showing up for work and being ready for success. This concept called better late than never, where what I find that for those of us that are trying to accelerate our dreams or achieve our dreams or accelerate our careers, we get stuck, man. It's a lot of like barriers, mental barriers, I should say. And sometimes there are um sort of like lack of resources or like, we get stuck in life where we have a family or just stuff happens that it derails our initial plan, right? So my thought is like it's never too late for us to be the best version of ourselves. So that's the heart behind this convo. Before we get there, who is Rob Kairuz, man? Introduce yourself, tell the word about who you are, and we'll go from there.
Man, who's Rob? Man, all you gotta know about me really is that I love Batman. I love Batman. I love everything about Batman, his story. I love burritos. So everybody knows that about me. I'm a big burrito guy. I love burritos. And I love Bad Bunny. Like that's my dude. Bad Bunny's my dude. I got the poster back there. El último tour del mundo. Like that's my jam. That's my favorite Bad Bunny album. And who am I besides the three B's, as I like to say? Uh, I'm a helper. I like to help. I'm a helper. I like to create stuff. I like to do stuff. I have a hard time being a doer, and I love like associating myself with doers. Like you are a doer. You are 100% a doer. So like just kind of like knowing about you, kind of like your hustle, like man, that's inspiring to me because I'm more of like a helper and a dreamer, right? And when you're a dreamer, it's like you're just your head's in the clouds, but you're not doing jack. And I've struggled with that, right? Where I'm just like, man, it would really be great. It would really be great if I were a little bit taller, right? Like that would be great if I was just a little bit taller, right? And I do nothing about like, I don't know, maybe I should get some hokas and make myself like this much taller. So I'm a helper, I'm a dreamer, I am a attempted doer. I kind of like follow people that are doing stuff and get inspired by them. And I would say like that's really it. Like if I had to like really, oh, I'm a dad, right? Like
Right.
huge. That's a big part of my identity and who I am. I'm a dad. Um, I'm a husband, you know. And again, going back, I like to help. I like helping. So if I had to encapsulate myself, that's about it. I'm a helper.
I love it, bro. I didn't know that I see that in our world of work where you are a phenomenal helper. And I see you as a doer. I didn't necessarily know like that's kind of one of your identity traits is just figuring out how to help folks. I love that. I think that's a pen that we can drive through and try to connect some of these things. I want to start with your from a career standpoint because I love cruises. And I know that your journey is like one of the early parts of your career is serving in the cruise industry. Can you kind of tell us like about what that looked like for you from a career standpoint, the work that you did, some of the challenges, and how it kind of led to you getting to where you are now professionally?
Man, how I stumbled into the cruise industry was really through networking, just straight up networking. And really it was my stepdad who like knew the people that were in the cruise industry just because it was tough. It was just tough. Like everybody wanted to work for the cruise industry. Who does not want to work for the cruise industry? Look, the cruise industry was awesome. My time there was awesome. I was lucky enough to have an interview, right? I didn't have a lot of technique back then, but I had a lot of, just being myself, right? Just like taking risks in interviews, and I was able to get the job. And I've always been a helper. So it was through customer service that I got my way through Royal Caribbean. It was just up. It was up my alley, right?
Yeah.
And I was in customer service for about 2 to 3 years. I was in the cruise industry overall for 7 years.
Okay.
So I went from customer service to like a pre-cruise sales sort of environment. Then I did group sales. Then I did inbound sales, and then I did the big enchilada of sales, which was outbound sales. So I got to call, and I had to have like my own book of business. And I was very lucky because I had the only real experience I had was restaurant experience. I was a shift leader at a restaurant, and this is like in my teens and early 20s. And that was the only experience that I had. Um, and I didn't have like any college education, like so no AA, no bachelor's, nothing like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that like those are entry level roles, customer service is entry level. So a lot of people had some sort of education, whether it was an associate's or a bachelor's, they were starting off. I was very, very, very lucky to get that job. And one, networking, right? But networking isn't everything, right? Like you gotta have the pudding, right? So I was able to go ahead and do well enough in the interview, and I was there for 7 years, and I learned a lot. Very grateful for my time there. Like you're saying, who doesn't want to work for the cruise industry? The cruise industry is awesome. Like you get BOGO 2 for 1. You get to pack all your stuff once. You get to go to 7 different ports of call. You know, you get to do crazy things. Like I did breakdancing on one of my first cruises.
Wow.
I don't know how to breakdance, all right? But
Okay.
I just had like that BOGO going. I had like the 2 for 1s. I did a cool B-boy move. And that is the highlight of my life because everybody clapped for me. And I'm like, what did I do? I'm gonna roll with it.
I love it, man. I want to contextualize a little bit because one of my nerd zones, I know one of your nerd zones is interviewing, right? And so I want to get to that place of like how to just provide some context and coaching when it comes to interviewing and why that's been one of your nerd zones. But one of mine is like how do people like what is it that you do in your world of work and like how do you get there? So tell me a little bit for folks that might not even be familiar sort of two things like when you say sales and customer service like specifically in the cruise industry like in the very simple terms like what is that like can you describe that and then secondly like I enjoy cruising, but I know that I guess the best word I can say is like it's intense for the people that work in cruises that get people to sign up for them, but also the workers that are on ships. Can you speak a little bit to like that experience as well? So kind of twofold, like what do you do, and then the whole cruise experience.
Well, to start off with what you do, customer service is customer service. People, you'd be surprised how many people are angry about like having the incorrect onboard credit amount or not getting free drinks. And I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I don't blame them.
that
So that's a yeah, yeah, right there, right? Like same here. Like, give me my onboard credit. Like, oh, like I was getting 2 for 1s all day, every day, and now I'm not. Like, I get it. So you do a lot of that, and it's a lot of people that are angry or they're charged for whatever reason, and you just de-escalate the situation, right? Or a lot of times it's just simple things like I misspelled my name,
mm,
or sometimes straight up it is people were misled, right? So it's like this person told me that I didn't need documentation to go into Shanghai, and I'm in Shanghai and they're deporting me. What are you gonna do about it? Like, like Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do? And I'm like, yeah, let's chat, right? So it's dealing with a lot of that, right? And then sales is sales. So sales is sales everywhere. It's about getting people to book with by whichever means, almost by whichever means necessary, right? But typically it is through very pointed conversations, overcoming objections. So when you're in sales, you hear a lot of no. Like people will call and they're like, yo, man, like you called me, like, what's up? And they're just like, they have all these questions, like, I gotta talk to my wife or I gotta talk to my husband. So I'm one of those people. Okay, I'm one of those people. I gotta talk to my wife. Like I know the tactic. I appreciate it, right? But it's a lot of like overcoming the objections, like, oh, well, we're just kind of like calling and it's converting and turning that no into a yes, right? Like, hey, you want to go on a cruise? Let's get you on a cruise. I wasn't as good at that because I just don't like bothering people.
yeah,
And you have to be a little intrusive to be successful at it, in my opinion. A little intrusive. So when people are like, no, I'm like, all right, bye. Like I'm done with you. Like I'm cool. But the best people that were really good at sales, it's not that they didn't take no for an answer, it's that they kept asking questions.
that's good.
Kept asking questions or like, hey, like, so what's going on? What's keeping you from booking right now? Like, well, I want to get you booked. I want to get you on your best cruise right now. I want to get you over to Australia to check out the Great Barrier Reef, or I want to get you over to Alaska to check out the Mendenhall Glacier now before this goes away. What can I get you to? And they don't mind kind of like pushing, right? And the best salespeople that I've worked with and shadowed, they would do that 3 times. They would hear no 3 times before they would get to a yes.
Yeah,
And look, I don't want to ask you for something 3 times. Like, I don't want to ask my kid to clean her room 3 times, right? Like, I ask you one time. Like, do you want to
Right.
go on this cruise? No. All
Uh,
right. Nice talking to you. So that's kind of like the difference there, right? It's in one, you kind of help people, and sometimes you help people that are very, very angry. And the other one, you're convincing people to why you, right? Like, what is it about your company that's really good? And giving them that value proposition, but really it's the person.
mhm,
It's the
mhm.
person. Like the value proposition is on the website. It's the person that's able to convert
Yeah.
into that. And kind of like what that looks like for people that work there. Look, for the people that work in the cruise.
It was good, family. God has called me to help people to align and maximize their calling with their purpose. And one of the ways that I do that is through writing. My first book is called Purpose Driven Work, which focuses on helping people to get unstuck in their dreams, callings, and their careers. My second book is Purpose Driven Coaching, which really focuses on helping educators, leaders, and workforce development professionals to use coaching to make an impact on individuals' lives. And then lastly, my most recent book is called On Purpose Leadership, which I wrote with my homeboy Vad Lee, which focuses on cultivating leadership for teams and organizations. You guys can purchase any one of my books on Amazon. Y'all be blessed out here, man.
Industry on the ships, it's a tough job.
Yeah,
It's a tough job because they have more than one job.
yeah.
In addition to it being a tough job, you have like all these responsibilities and you have to be such a people person, like extremely good with people, right? Like so like every time we go on a cruise, people remember my name. Like sometimes I forget my daughter's name, and here they are remembering my name, like, hey, Rob, how's it going? Like, bro, like, where'd you come from? Thank you for remembering my name. So like they're super good with that. Like they'll make like they're very thoughtful. They have an extra level of thoughtfulness. And they're extremely, extremely hard workers. And that's on the ship. And off the ship, like, I worked shoreside. I worked at the corporate offices. Um, it's it's two different skill sets, right? Because like people that are good at service are not always necessarily the best at sales
It's good.
because it's you have to be a little pushy, right? You have to be a little bit pushy. And vice versa, right? When you're in sales, you have to be ruthlessly empathetic and you have to have the memory of a goldfish because
Mm,
one person on one end is yelling at you, and sometimes it's justified, right? Like it's not you, they're mad at the company. Like somebody forgot to give them some information and they are just mad. And it's like, yeah, I get you. And like, but people, I have taken it personally because it hurts. Like somebody's like yelling at you and you think that they're yelling at you. It's not you, but it feels that way. And then you get off that call, and then the next one, you can't take that energy into the next call
mm.
because this could be somebody's wedding or somebody's birthday or somebody's reunion, right? And so like kind of like having the memory of a goldfish, kind of like resetting, and you get really fun-loving, good people, whether it's in sales and service that are attracted to the cruise industry and that the cruise industry, I think, hires fun-loving people that are just good. So like that's what you kind of get. You get really hard workers, people that are extra empathetic, people that are good with people, right? And people that like to have fun. That's kind of like what it looks like for an employee and what you can expect there.
That's so good, man. And Rob, I know you. Obviously, we work at the same organization, man. You're somebody that embodies a combination of both of those, where there's a level of like patience and empathy, like seeing people as people. Um, and then there's a level of like, I need to get this done. Like there's a level of persistence that I think you embody that you balance and you use appropriately. Kind of fast forward a little bit, man, I love hearing about like how you sort of cut your teeth professionally by way of the cruise industry. Tell me through like how you've gotten to where you are now, because you have a background in higher education. You've kind of gone from like not having a degree to being a great salesperson in the cruise industry. So you've had to invest in your own skill development and education to be able to work in higher ed to where you are now in education technology. And then you're also an entrepreneur. So tell me a little bit about like your career journey and like how you got to where you are.
My kid, just straight up, like my kid, my kid and my wife, both of them. But like my family has really, it's what's really galvanized me. And the work that we do, like we work with a lot of people that those are their motivations also, right? It's their families that are kind of motivating them to be better. And that is 100% what it was for me. I had a very comfortable job. I was not the best salesperson. I was not the best salesperson because I wasn't like ultra pushy. Like the best salespeople, they were ultra pushy, and I just hated that. So I did okay. I converted at like, let's say like 27%, which is not bad. It's pretty good. But the best salespeople converted at like 40%. But I didn't have a degree, any degree at all. I was working on it, but not as quickly as I could have. And when I knew I was going to become a father, that kind of like it kicked my ass a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like I gotta be better, and I'm a dreamer, 100% a dreamer who had done nothing, no dream, like no dream had been realized. And I wanted my kid to have a template of dreams and making them happen.
Right.
So that's what kind of pushed me forward. I got a good job in New York. I moved to New York. I got a really good job in account management. I was not the best account manager either. A lot of skills translated, but I had other things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was let go from that job. I wasn't bad at it. Like I do a Monday morning quarterback on what could have made me a better salesperson or a better account manager. And there were like some skills that I probably could have developed a little bit more, but I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, right? Like I wanted to do a few things, and I wanted to do it my way. And that's what led me to higher education. Really, that was my wife. My wife was a career coach.
Mm.
So she got a job as a career coach here at the University of Florida. I saw what she was doing. And I was already doing a little bit of that with my friends, like just like informally helping them interview for like cruise industry jobs. So helping them with their resume, helping them with like what to do in the interview, like how to really bring those skills out. I enjoyed helping. And these were my friends. I really liked helping my friends. Anybody that wanted like a job, like that needed help with their resume. And I wasn't very good at that at the time, but my wife was, so she taught me how to do the resume stuff. And then I would teach some of my friends that were looking to transition into like sales jobs or into people that were very similar to me that didn't have like a degree, right? And how to compete for those like account management and sales jobs that do require a degree, how to outcompete somebody that already has some other credentials. So I would help them with that. I loved doing that. I loved working with underdogs. So then when I got to the University of Florida, one of the things that I did was that I mentored students,
Okay.
mentored students that were um, people of color, right? So it was a multicultural, multi-generational organization. And a lot of the students were me. Like, so I went to college. I just flunked out. I just straight up flunked out. I had a really good time and I flunked out. Like that's just what happened.
It's
And
normal.
I didn't flunk out once. I flunked out more than twice. Um,
So
and these were people that I was mentoring that I just knew that I wanted to help them so that they wouldn't do what I did, right? So I recognized a lot of the same stories, single parent homes, poor, right? Just poor. Had to work 40-hour jobs. So I worked at a restaurant. I was a shift leader. I worked, close to 40 hours. And you have to combine school, you have to kick ass at school, you have to kick ass at work because you have to survive,
yep.
and you also want to have fun, right? Like, so that's what happened to me. I wanted to do all three, and I couldn't do all three, so something suffered, and it was school. And so I wanted to just if it was like coming from a place of I want to give you what I didn't have.
Hmm.
And I just really love that. And the students that I mentored, I had like one mentee at the time. The kid's a PhD student, like he's living in LA. He's insanely smart, like yeah, like if anything I said that could serve as a cautionary tale, like that's what I wanted to do. And that would a lot of other people would come, so classmates, like that would just like they saw that I was a little, I don't know if they knew how much older I was, but they knew I was a little bit older, right? And so they would ask me questions on like their resumes and their internships and like just things like that. And like, oh, I don't think I can do this. I don't have the experience. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're great. Like you're fantastic at this. Of course you have skills. Like these people would be lucky to have you. And I loved helping them see what maybe they couldn't see, like holding a mirror up to them.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into, career coaching at the university level. And then that's what led me to merit is like I liked helping it was just natural. I did it for free. I do it for free. I still do it for free. So like I really enjoyed it, and that's kind of what led me on this trajectory. And what got me here was my kid. Like she was like in my family and my wife, and having a job that you enjoyed, like kind of working towards that, not a job that you did that you hated, right? And a lot of people that we do help, like they're in positions where they don't want to be in. And like they do their certifications and they want to improve their life chances. And I love the people that we work with. A lot of my private clients are the same, right? They're either very young and they're looking to outcompete somebody that's like more mid-level, or they're career pivoters, right? They're like, I don't have the skills. I'm like, yes, you do. Like, we got to help you find, you have the skills. You might need a certification here or there, but
Mhm.
you can do this job now. I love helping people see that because like they're badass, you know?
That's dope, man. So out of curiosity, when you were making the transition from your job in New York, and it sounds like your wife was she had a job at the University of Florida, were you pursuing your education and doing like peer advising and then simultaneous and then kind of working your way into a like a career coaching role for the university? Tell me a little bit about like the job function that you kind of went from post New York to like I'm now in higher ed as a professional career coach.
Yeah. Look, I just kind of like stumbled into that. Like, yeah, my wife was doing it and I kind of liked her job, but it didn't even like kind of cross my mind. I was doing mentorship at the university. So like they paired us with like I went back to school. My wife got a job at the University of Florida. Then I went to the University of Florida also. I went ahead and I applied. I got my AA at Santa Fe College here in Gainesville, and then I got my bachelor's. I transferred over.
Yeah.
So I was helping I wanted to mentor students that were, students of color, people of color, just because it's a lot of the similar journeys and I wanted to help them out. And that's kind of like how I got started. And then it became more deliberate. I looked for more deliberate opportunities. So when I went to graduate school, I applied to be a graduate career and peer mentor.
Okay.
And that's kind of like where I really built my bones
Yeah.
in sort of coaching, because there was a lot of coaching. It was helping people with the interviews, with the resumes, with the cover letters, and that's where I got my experience. But it all came from like I just like helping people and like kind of like helping them with the pitfalls.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if like it was practical advice, right? Like, hey, Monday through Friday, you got to do schoolwork. Just because it's like all you can drink night over
Right.
my mother's doesn't mean that you should be going on Tuesday. Like, I get that it's cheaper to go, but it's maybe not a good idea. Wait for Saturday. Saturday.
If you're listening to this video or watching this video, you are part of what I call the better late than never journey. And as a part of that journey, not only do I have these dope podcast interviews and these individuals from all walks of life, I also have a book that captures this, that's meant to really help all of us in our dreams, callings, and careers, and probably most importantly, to navigate those three things as we wrestle with our relationship with time. So it's taken me quite some time to publish this book, to really write this book and to publish it, but it's coming soon. If you look behind me, you guys can kind of see I'm working diligently behind the scenes. You all can pre-order the book now. I got more than half of the book written. My goal is to publish this book November 2026. So tap in. If you want your copy of Better Late Than Never, Overcoming Fear and Failure to be the best version of yourself, go ahead and pre-order that book. You guys can support the movement and probably most importantly, help yourselves as you live out your dreams, callings, and careers. Talk to you soon. Be blessed.
Saturdays when you should go to mothers. I just really enjoyed telling them practical stuff like that because those are mistakes that I made. I was drawn to the honeypot of like, break the seal night, like I was drawn to that.
Yeah.
And you can have fun, but do it like on days that where school doesn't interfere. And I didn't understand that. I didn't know that. I didn't have the maturity for it. And then that turned into, okay, like what do you do to take your experience and translate that into an internship? What do you do?
Yeah.
And then it became career coaching.
I love that. And I think the reason why I wanted to clarify was sort of two people. So two reasons. One, as we navigate careers, nothing is like linear, right? Because I wanted to intentionally talk about like your experience from the cruise line. Not that that was like I'm sure that there's other work you did before you got into the cruise industry, but to show people like there's not a linear path, but really what you're trying to think about is how can I transfer skills, but also how can I really assess like my desires? And I do that by way of like what I call values and interests. And so it seems like through like pain and through great experience, like you realize like there's a level of grit and salesmanship working with the cruise line, but also I don't know if I want to just keep beating people over the head. Like that's not what I want to do. But you still have extracted that skill set to leverage in other ways, and then simultaneously, it seems like as you were going to school, excuse me, like you've had to figure out like I want to help people. Like I've done this before. And at the same time, I still need to upskill. I still need to get qualified, quote unquote. So I love you illustrating you going and get your associate's degree. Because if I want to be in this world of education, like I have to have the credential to do so, just at a minimum, and then your bachelor's degree. But then there's like this phase of like I'm coaching my peers, and it's primarily based off of like how to navigate their job search. And you just do that just kind of intuitively, but then simultaneously like you realize like I can do this, like this is a job function. I see my wife doing it, but also there's opportunity in this space of education to do so. So I love seeing that because I think the more people see how non-linear it is, I say I guess it becomes realistic to for people to like to get from point A to point B, to figure out like, okay, this is possible because I've seen Rob do it. You know what I'm saying? Tell me, take me a little bit to your like your Zen zone, your nerd zone is interviews. And like you have clientele, and we obviously work for the same company right now. Tell me, how did you arrive to this point of like, all right, my nerd zone is interview preparation. What do you see as kind of like ways that you help people when it comes to preparing for interviews? Why is it important? What's this ecosystem of interview preparation overall look like for you?
Ecosystem of interview preparation. So, I mean, kind of like why it's my nerd zone is because it is a marriage of kind of my experiences in helping, like going back to customer service, helping people. Like I was good at that. Like I really enjoyed helping people. It just doesn't pay money. Like there's no money in customer service. Like
Yeah.
like you need help. But if they paid well in customer service, I might have stayed in customer service. They just don't, like they just don't pay well. But I really liked the helping people, and like this, it's almost like a correction of what I was bad at as a salesperson. In sales, you have to convert. That's the metric. It's conversion, right? So you had X number of conversations, and out of those conversations, how many people are going on a cruise? Like how many? Right? So like for me, but like you have to be a pain in the ass to get to be successful at that. And I didn't want to be a pain in the ass bothering people to give me their money, to give me 4 or 5 grand to go on a cruise. I didn't want to be intrusive or bother them.
Sure.
But in interviewing, when I'm helping somebody, I like to help them. So I don't mind being a pain in the ass to get you to the interview, to get you to absorb these techniques and to get you the job. I don't mind bothering people or being intrusive or sending them text messages like, all right, like what do you do if you're asked a behavioral question? All right, what do you do if you're asked a situational question? What's the difference between the two? What do you do with an elevator pitch style question? Like, so I'll text this to people, right? I don't mind being intrusive if the end goal is to help you get a job.
Mhm.
And to me, like the interview, and that is the ultimate metric for me is did the preparation that we did it help you get a job? Like I think it's very I think that when we help with like resumes and we help with cover letters, that might help you get to an interview. But like the interview is a different ball game. Like we got to get you the job. And so like that's why I prefer working with interview, because like yeah, we can work on resume stuff and cover letter stuff all day. But look, you can get that advice on TikTok. Like it's not bad advice. It's not
Yes.
bad advice. It's pretty good advice. You can get that free 99, like you don't need me. But
Yep.
my value proposition as a coach, and that language comes from my time in the cruise value proposition, right? Or my time in account management, right? Like so I did a account manager for a small pharmaceutical company. What is my value proposition as a coach? It's prepping you for the interview. I'm gonna bother you. I'm gonna coach you. I'm going to help you see your superpower, right? Like I'm gonna hold that mirror up to you, and that is really where I can make a difference compared to like everybody else that's out there coaching is in the interview. That's what got me there.
Let me actually, I'm gonna jump in. So I love that. So I'm gonna use that word value proposition. So Rob, I think you've illustrated kind of subconsciously how I've navigated my career as a career coach, where initially I think that we all see that there's foundational things that everybody needs. So personal brand, that bucket is resume, cover letter. I'm gonna use LinkedIn as part of that. Those are kind of the big three, perhaps when you're searching for a job that most people will need to make sure it's polished. But then I love that your value proposition is interviewing. Like that's a whole like space of like I need to approach this with some kind of prudence, some preparation when it comes to whatever org I'm trying to get into. But then I think there's also a piece of like job search strategy. So yes, personal brand, resume, cover letter, LinkedIn is part of this, interviewing is part of it. But like how I get this, if me and you were applying for the same job and it's posted online, like it's not a one size fit all for how we procure that job. So strategy is a whole bucket. And so we can talk about networking by way of like going to an event. We can talk about networking using like tools like LinkedIn. We can talk about like the volume of output for applying for jobs online. So there's that, like that's a whole area. The point I'm trying to make here is like I really don't want to do none of that. Like as a career coach, it seems weird. Like you can go to TikTok to get that. That's not what I want to spend my time doing. I want to go underneath the hood of like, why don't you believe in yourself? This is so as a career coach, this is kind of my zone of like maybe it's mindset, perhaps, maybe it's some clarity coaching, but this is why I'm spending my time like with better late than never of like this is what I want you to get so you can be successful career wise. Tell me, well, how did you land on interviewing? And it might be I don't want to like box you in, but I know like interviewing is your nerd zone. Like, how did you land on that? And it is like the area where you feel like is your value proposition. And is there other areas that you kind of are still feel like are big value proposition areas that you want to serve?
To kind of answer that one quickly, I think that Quintrell, I think you are world class at what you do. I think I'm world class at what I do too, just straight up. Like, and I think a lot of people that we work with
Yeah.
are world class at helping them with like the resume and the cover, like that personal branding. They're
Yeah.
world class. Like I really I think that a lot of us are really good at that. I really think what sets me apart as a coach is the interviewing, and another reason why I gravitated towards interview is because, well, there's a lot, but I love getting people who, like what you're saying, like the mindset, they're like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I
Yeah.
love taking that and turning that person into like a superhero.
Yeah.
I love taking that. They think that they are just like a regular Joe Schmo, right? And like, no, let's build you up. You have all these incredible skills. Let's help you show that. Like, and I love being able to do that. I love working with underdogs and I love helping people overcompete. That's what I love doing. I love helping people overcompete for
Oh, hey, it's you again. The one that is watching this content but ain't subscribed to the channel. Listen, I'm a YouTube embryo, but I have dreams of one day being a full-grown YouTube man. In order to get there, I need your help. Subscribe to the channel. I am trying to help people in their dreams, their callings, and careers, and to help scale that growth. All you got to do is help a brother by hitting that subscribe button. Bless your brother so I can bless others. It's that simple. Be blessed.
things that they think that they're not qualified for. They are qualified for it, but they feel like they're not, right? They got the interview. So if you got the interview, like the people know that you can do the job, right? But you might not think that because people struggle with imposter syndrome and like all these other things, right? And confidence. So I love taking that mentality and turning this into like a dogfight, turning
Yeah.
this into like a scrap. Like if somebody can say no to you, I can't guarantee that you're going to get the job, but it's going to hurt somebody to say no to you. We're going to make sure it's painful for them to say no to you. And I like that. I love helping people pick up the fight. I love it, like, and like that's it. Like I just that's what got me there. That's what got me there. And like it's harder. It is. I just think that like it's easier to fight at the resume level or at the cover letter level. And like we can give there can be small little edges here and there, but all that amounts to getting an interview. Like, because all that stuff does is it gets you into the interview room. All right, you're here now. Let's fight for that job. Let's like we're not going to go in there passive. We're going to go in there and we're going to fight like hell for that job. You do that most at the interview. That's where it's most tangible, and you see the result is zero sum. You got it or you don't.
Bro. So this is our nerd zone, right? And I'm hyped up right now. I'm kind of sitting on the edge of my seat. I think it's appropriate that we kind of started our convo talking about retros and shoes because that's a nerd zone as well. But I think feeding our industry. Like there's an industry of career coaches, career development professionals, perhaps workforce development professionals, where this is what we do. This is our nerd zone. And I think everybody has their niche or value proposition. And we all are versed in all of these things, right? So, when it comes to working with clients, with resumes, we can work with pretty much any industry, just about. When it comes to interview preparation, like I feel confident in my ability to do so. Job search strategy, I know you will help anybody go from point A to point Z, but I think you're illustrating a really good point of like this is my area of focus. If you can help me kind of, I want to out my because this conversation might be applicable for our tribe as coaches, but also perhaps prospective job seekers like clients going to our tribe of coaches. What would be like some feedback that you would give to a coach, somebody that's in our field, to help another client in interview preparation?
Yep.
How would you help somebody to do that?
Yep. Don't be jargony. So I think that a lot of us as career coaches at different levels, so I've been able to kind of sit back and observe. I see all the content on LinkedIn. Coaches talk like coaches to people they assume are coaches,
That's good.
and they're not. They're not coaches. So we give all manner of acronyms, right? Acronyms for like what if somebody asks you like why do you want to work for them, and like, oh, here's this acronym. Like, oh, for behavior, what do you do in a behavioral question? You use a star method. What do you do in a situational question? Just use a star method. Storytell, like, what is that? What does that mean? Storytell. What is storytelling? So like we use a lot of jargony things that are nerdy for us and that we understand because we have a lot of experience with it. And I think a lot of job seekers, like, they understand like these words. They understand these words, like they hear it here and there, but every interview prep that I have at every level, one of my questions is, and it's like it's a little bit of a trap. What's a
Yeah.
behavioral question? Do you know what it is? Have you heard of it? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. What is it? Oh yeah, it's this. Okay. And it's kind of like deconstructing that,
It's good.
deconstructing that. What's a situational question? Deconstructing that to one common denominator. And so like two coaches, right? It is don't assume you're talking to a career coach. You're talking to somebody else. And the thing is that like, you have to know your audience a little bit, right? Like, what could be engineering, it could be, IT development, it could be, copywriting, you know, you have to kind of change your approach based on who you're talking to. Like, so
Yeah.
that's it. Like,
Mm.
just change your approach a little bit.
Bro, that is good. Don't be jargony. Don't make an
Mhm.
assumption that who you're speaking with knows what you're talking about. That's gems, bro. That's gems. All right, Rob. Look, I want to talk about the Rob, the creative. You're an author, you're a content creator, probably probably 10 other things. I'm gonna just paint this big picture. Tell me about like what do you do as a creative? I would love for you to talk about. I want you to kind of drive this because I know you, but I want you to open this up how you see fit. What is your creative zen zone? What do you do? What do you nerd out with?
I nerd out with books. So obviously I nerd out with like comics and,
It's the bookshelf full of books behind you.
yeah, that's my nerd zone. Uh, I mean, that's kind of like what I nerd out to and like my process a little bit. And kind of like what I get into with content creation. So I've done a couple of content creation things. Like, I think with that is just being consistent. Like, so it's something as a creative that has taken me a long time to learn. And again, I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer first, and like I'm a doer almost last. And it's been reversing that
Yeah.
and trying to become more of a doer. Sure, like the dreams don't go away, but doing, right? And consistently doing.
Mhm.
So some days, like whether it's content creation, like I also enjoy writing, right? So like that's something that I really like to do. And I have all these stories, right? And for years they just kind of sat there and nothing happened. Nothing happened, right? So like I'm writing a book. It, the first draft is awful. It's absolutely unreadable. You can't read it. It's so bad. It is so bad. It's embarrassingly bad. But you kind of have to push through and just keep doing it. And it sucks. Because like if you look at how bad it is the first time around, it's like, oh my God, I'm never gonna write. Like, oh my God, like this is never gonna happen for me. Um, I think also like understanding that like I'm not published, right? So I haven't been published anywhere, but that doesn't mean that I'm not a writer. You know,
Yeah.
just because like I haven't been able to get published doesn't mean that I'm not a writer. So that's something that it took me a long time to also get over because I'm like, oh, I'm not a writer, so I'm not published, so I'm not going to write. No, you kind of have to keep writing. And the cool thing with career development, something that
Mhm.
I've learned, right? Look, you don't need anybody's permission to write. You could just write yourself. Write
Yeah.
yourself. Like there's all these different tools out there. You can go straight to the audience. Audience building is its own thing and hard, but you can do that yourself. You don't need anybody to do it. You don't need like a big publishing house or a big gatekeeper to lock you out. You can go straight to the source, man, if you want to. Um, so for me, my process has been kind of accepting that, hey, I'm not, just because I haven't gotten here doesn't mean I'm not this. I am. And then it's consistently pushing through and not getting stuck in the trap of perfectionism.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, because that's debilitating. Like my first draft for what I'm writing now is awful, Quintrell. It is awful. It is so bad. It's so bad. But if I were to sit there and obsess over every single sentence that I'm writing, I'll never finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll never get done. So like just pushing through consistently day by day. Worry about the refinement later. Just get through. Just get it all into the. So the guy that did Get Out, Jordan Peele,
Yeah.
like his process is get everything into the sandbox.
Mm.
Get it onto the sandbox, right? Don't build the castle yet. Get it out. Get it all into the sandbox. When it's all in the sandbox, it's sand. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But then like when you're done with it, then you shape it, you build it. And like the thing with building a castle or even a sandcastle, you can't build it all in one moment. It takes time to kind of build. So it's
Yeah.
just consistency. That's been like my process and getting to that point. This has been hard. It is hard. Like, and I'm sure you're the ultimate doer, man. So like I heard like your intro for your podcast. Was that you that was on the intro to the podcast? Was that you?
Like the music?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
That's awesome, dude. That was so good.
I appreciate it.
That was so good. I'm like, holy shit, is this Quintrell? This is awesome.
Well, I
You know,
appreciate it.
but getting to that point is tough. It's just tough.
Tell me what are you writing? Because I think like I know like we've talked about like what you're writing offline and before. And I know we have kind of different genres. So me, I'm more of a like self-help, what can I do that's like give people that's like pragmatic. But I would love to tell like what are you in? It was good, family. Better Late Than Never is more than just an album. It's a concept that is never too late for us to change our mindsets and our lifestyles. This project was exclusively produced by my homeboy Matlock, who has produced for some of the best artists in the world, including Lil Wayne. You guys can catch this project and stream it on all platforms, including Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, you name it, it's there. As you guys tune in to Better Late Than Never, it's my prayer that this project helps you to live a purpose-driven life. Be blessed. In the process of finishing, publishing, what kind of writer are you?
I would say that like the genres that I'm drawn to science fiction,
Okay.
but I'm not interested in going into the minutia of science fiction.
Okay.
So I like kind of operating outside of that a little bit. And I love romantic comedy. Like just
All
straight up. I'm a big fan of like You've Got Mail. Like I love the father of the entire genre, Shakespeare, Much Ado About Nothing, the mother of the entire genre, Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. Like I love that stuff. And I love kind of seeing it kind of play out. I love anything Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. I love like any like romantic comedy that's come out. I love Julia Roberts, like anything with Julia Roberts in it, like Notting Hill. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite ones. I don't know if you've seen that one. I love it. Look,
So I gotta ask you this. Like, I'm assuming, like, does your wife love romantic comedies?
she
Because you're
does.
like
Yeah.
the perfect husband. Like, this is
Yeah.
any given evening, popcorn, romantic comedy. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Okay.
do that. She's also like, but she's more into like SVU. So
Okay.
like that's the struggle. Like it's like, do we watch SVU? That's so stressful to me for me to watch. But
Watch, you're right. It is. I let my wife choose. Like, I can be literally watching NBA playoffs and she comes sit next to me. And I know what's about to happen. What do you want to watch, baby? I don't know, whatever. And then 2 minutes later, she grabs the remote. So I get it.
yeah, SVU is terrible. It's just, but the thing is, like, I sit there and I watch it with her, but the entire time, my heart rate is elevated. I can feel my fight or flight kicking in, like the entire time I'm watching SVU. But
Wow.
yeah, we enjoy watching all romantic comedies. Those cheesy Netflix movies and Christmas, The Princess Switch, like all those, man, we love those things.
Wow.
So I love science fiction and I love that, and that's what I'm writing. It's all mixed in together.
I love it, bro. I love it. And I always ask, whenever I get a chance to have these convos about people's interests or nerd zones, because those are important. Me and you work in helping professions, and I think every profession is a helping profession, but we're kind of working client facing, if you will. So because of that, we take on other people's burdens quite often. And we have to figure out what to do with this stuff. And I feel strongly that we all need outlets. And I think the end goal, I've been lucky enough to publish, I think it's 7 or 8 books, but my goal from writing the first book to where I am now is completely different. Like, I enjoy these things. Like, I read them for me. I make them for me. And I think culture or maybe industries would say like you need to be successful and make millions of dollars, and that's not a realistic goal and it's not a healthy goal. But I say that just to say I want to encourage you as a writer, as a content creator, whatever is your nerd zone, just to do it because you enjoy doing it, man. And hopefully whoever's listening is that kind of messaging is heard as well, man. So that's just want to say that. As I kind of land the plane here, we didn't get a chance to talk a lot about the entrepreneurial aspect. But I do want to kind of go there to sort of land the plane. You're a successful professional, career development professional. You're a great creative, however you want to say it. But you also are leveraging your skill set in the marketplace, man. Tell me a little bit about that piece of Rob, of transferring your skills to be an entrepreneur.
So I think this is a good segue. And earlier you were saying, like kind of just doing things and having that outlet. And look, for me, helping is a part of my identity.
Hmm.
It's a part of my identity. And I'm able to go ahead and get that part of my identity out by the work that we do, right? Another part of my identity is creating. It's just straight up creating. Like I need to help people. I need to create that because those are parts of my identity. And then the last part of my identity is doing my own thing, my
Mm,
own way.
that's good.
Entrepreneurship, and I know these things about my identity because I took like those values inventories, and I took like the work inventories that we do a lot in exploration, right? In career coaching, like the values and the like the assessments, like that's how I know like that this is like these are parts of my identity. And I think that a mistake that job seekers do is that they associate their identities with their jobs,
Mm,
you know, and
yeah.
like it's got to be all encompassing. So I'm a creative, I like to help, and I need to do my own thing. So I need a job that encompasses all three, or I will never be happy professionally. And that's not true, right? Just one aspect of my identity can go towards like the helping part. I fill that cup through career coaching. Like I love, love, love to help people. So that's where I fill my helping cup, right? And then like on my own time, like I write. And that's a part of that identity that I'm able to go ahead and fulfill. I don't need to be, like a copywriter or a journalist, or like I'm not attracted to any of that stuff, but that's something that would encompass all three. To be happy, I can just do one and then focus on the other things outside of that. And that kind of got me to like my own business, right? I like to do my own thing. I like to do my own thing, my own way.
Yeah.
And Superpower Career Coaching, which is like my business, allowed me to both help people, right? So I'm still helping people. It allowed me to be creative because I have like all the content creation that I have through that. So I can have like very irreverent videos. Like I had one where I was like like somebody going to their job interview wearing a Macho Man Randy Savage shirt. Like I'm able to kind of go ahead and do these like irreverent things, which is what I want to do, and I'm able to do it my way, in a way that I like to do it. And that's what got me to do my own thing. Because I was able to kind of go ahead and blend my helping identity and my creative identity with something that I ultimately wanted to do.
Man, that's beautiful. I think how you illustrated that is honestly it's poetic. I love that you talk about the three different identities, and those are not the only three identities that you have, but these are ones that you're highlighting where you're not feeling all of your identities are not going to be filled by your career, right? Nor your organization. And I think sometimes that's one contributing factor for us, our tribe, while we get stuck in life and stuck in our careers because we realize like, dang, like I can't get everything out my world of work that I want to. So I love that you illustrate some parts of your identity you get to flex as a creative by way of writing and other things. And another part is as an entrepreneur. I love that. And I think what I want to just add to that is all of us have opportunities to be in a marketplace, and success is not measured by how much money you make. It's a blessing to be able to supplement your income. That's a goal. It's a primary goal of mine for real, for real. But it's not the ultimate goal. So I think that all of us have the potential to do two things: to fill our cup, in the words that you said, where maybe part of my identity as an entrepreneur is I get to flex this creativity that my supervisor, my job can't let me do. But then secondly, I can leverage skills. I'm all about, like, if you've been in the workforce for 2 days, you have a unique skill set that can be leveraged in the marketplace. If you've been in the workforce for 2 months, 2 years, 20 years, however many, you have so much skills that you can leverage in the marketplace. And so I think entrepreneurship is a huge value add for us as professionals. So I think I'm gonna land this plane. But I think you open up opportunity for future convos between you and I, but ongoing ways that we can have convos in our whole ecosystem of coaches. As we land the plane, how can folks consume your future published book? How can people get it connected with you in your business and get connected with Rob on a personal tip?
Future published book, we'll see. I'll probably put it on Substack.
Okay.
I had it on WordPress for a while, but then when it'll get there.
Mhm.
For Superpower Career Coaching, you can find me on Instagram, Superpower Career Coaching, or you can send me an email, superpowercareercoaching@gmail.com. That's really like the primary areas. I post stuff like irreverent stuff. I'm trying to be consistent with it because that's like it takes a time to think of, to ideate, and to then create, right? Um, yeah, that's where you can find me.
Love it. I'm gonna land this with a loaded question. A loaded question. All right, so I'm priming you up here. We talked about a lot of stuff. What would you want a listener out there to just take away from, your story, maybe your skill set, your background? What would you want people just to walk away from Rob Kairuz?
Oh man,
Loaded.
that
Really like
really,
those burritos.
you read my mind. You get out of my head. You knew exactly what I was gonna say. Yes, it's burritos are awesome. Maybe even, try a little bit of schnitzel with some cheese sauce on it. Very, very delicious. Absolutely, absolutely amazing.
My stomach might not like that later on, but I get the cue. I get
I
it.
would like it immediately. Maybe not later, but immediately. Oh man, it's gonna be like the best 5 minutes of your life. Look, um, I think that it's embrace your story,
Mm.
own your story. If I had to like pinpoint anything, it's really like be be unapologetically the superhero of your story.
Ooh.
Unapologetically. And like that's like what my coaching boils down to. Like you are the superhero of your story. Don't apologize for that. Go do it.
Mic drop. Man, Rob, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you. I want to give you flowers. Rob, you are a doer. You are a helper. You are a thought leader, man. I can't thank you enough for just being on this podcast with me, but also I get a chance to watch you for our organizations and our world of work. You have a unique blend of compassion slash positivity, but like serious action taken, you know what I'm saying? So like as much as you kind of identify as a thinker and an ideator, you do stuff, you get stuff done, man. So I just want to give you your flowers, bro. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. I'm looking forward to doing many more collabs with you, man. Yeah,
Well, as Stone Cold Steve Austin says, hell yeah, can't wait for that. Thank you so much for having me on, Control.
facts, man. Facts. Appreciate you.
Better late than never, better late than never, forever hard to measure. I might see my future fall away, but you control time, so my future do what you say.